हेलो फ्रेंड्स। सो आज की इस वीडियो में हम लोग सॉल्व करने वाले हैं एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन ऑफ मार्जिनल कॉस्टिंग, दैट इज इलस्ट्रेशन नंबर 7, राइट। सो दिस क्वेश्चन ऑलरेडी comes in June 2019 examination, which is carries up to 6 marks, so very important for your upcoming examinations, and most importantly for your December 2022 examinations, because your upcoming December 2022 examinations is going to be held in offline. So in offline examinations this type of question is very important. So let's solve these questions without wasting any further time, right? So the question is, S Limited furnishes you the following information relating to the half year ended on 30th June 2015, right? Fixed expenses given 45,000, then sales value given 1,50,000, and also profit given 30,000. But during the second half of the year, the company has projected a loss of rupees 10,000. So we need to calculate the break-even point and margin of safety for 6 months ending 30th June 2015. Then expected sales volume for the second half of the year, assuming that the profit volume ratio and fixed expenses remain constant in the second half year also. And third, the break-even point and margin of safety for the whole year for 2015. फर्स्ट हम लोगों को कैलकुलेट करना है ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट एंड मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी फॉर 6 months एंडिंग 30th June. देन एक्सपेक्टेड सेल्स वॉल्यूम फॉर द सेकेंड हाफ ऑफ द ईयर व्हेन पीवी रेशियो एंड फिक्स एक्सपेंसेस रिमेन कांस्टेंट. एंड थर्ड, द ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट एंड मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी फॉर द होल ईयर फॉर 2015, राइट. सो ये है क्वेश्चन, बहुत ईजी है बट थोड़ा सा क्वेश्चन को समझना है, ट्रिकी है थोड़ा सा. सो लेट्स सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन विदाउट वेस्टिंग एनी फर्दर टाइम, राइट. सो वी नीड टू कैलकुलेट फॉर द फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ द ईयर एज ए मेजॉरिटी. देन we can easily calculate the remaining questions. So for the first half of the year we need to calculate profit volume ratio, right. So as we know, what is the formula of profit volume ratio? As we know that profit volume ratio formula is contribution by sales into 100, right? Or you can say fixed cost plus profit divided by sales into 100, right? So as you know that fixed cost plus profit is equal to contribution, right? So PV ratio इज इक्वल टू कितना होगा, हमारा फिक्स कॉस्ट कितना था 45,000 इन क्वेश्चन, 45,000 प्लस प्रॉफिट था 30,000. सो 45,000 प्लस 30,000 डिवाइडेड बाई सेल्स कितना था 1,50,000, राइट, इनटू 100. ये आ जाएगा आपका 40, 30, 75,000 डिवाइडेड बाई 1,50,000 इंटू 100. ये आ जाएगा आपका 75,000 डिवाइडेड बाई 1,50,000, 75,000 डिवाइडेड बाई 1,50,000 इंटू 100. 50% आ गया आपका प्रॉफिट वॉल्यूम रेशियो. नाउ वी हैव टू कैलकुलेट व्हाट ब्रेक इवन सेल्स एज पर क्वेश्चंस. ब्रेक इवन सेल्स, so sir, what is the formula of break even sales? Usually as you know that the break-even sales formula is fixed cost divided by profit volume ratio. Fixed cost divided by profit volume ratio. So what is the fixed cost? 45,000. What is the PV ratio? 50%, right? So fixed cost. So break even sales for the first half of the year will be तो फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ द ईयर में ब्रेक फिक्स कॉस्ट कितना था 45,000 पीवी रेशियो कितना था 50%, तो ये आ जाएगा आपका 45,000 डिवाइडेड बाई 50%. ब्रेक इवन सेल्स फॉर फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ द ईयर विल बी 90,000. right? Now we can easily calculate margin of safety. Margin of safety for the first half of the year. Right? Margin of safety for the first half of the year. So, as you know that the formula of margin of safety is sales minus break-even sales, right? Sales minus break-even sales. So, sales कितना था 1,50,000. 1,50,000. ब्रेक इवन सेल्स कितना था 90,000. So margin of safety for the first half of the year will be 1,50,000 minus 90,000 is equal to 60,000. 60,000, right? ये हो गया आपका margin of safety for the first half of the year. Now we have to calculate second half of the year. First half of the year का solve कर दिए हम लोग, the break even point and margin of safety and also profit volume ratio. Now comes to second half of the year. तो second half of the year में क्या था? During the second half of the year, the company has projected a loss of rupees 10,000. Loss of rupees 10,000. So, but again in questions given that expected sales volume for the second half of the year, assuming that the profit volume ratio and fixed expenses remain constant in the second half of the year also. मतलब सेल्स वॉल्यूम एक्सपेक्टेड सेल्स वॉल्यूम होना कितना चाहिए सेकेंड हाफ ऑफ द ईयर में, अज्यूमिंग किया जाता है कि प्रॉफिट वॉल्यूम रेशियो एंड फिक्स एक्सपेंसेस रिमेन कांस्टेंट इन द सेकेंड हाफ ऑफ द ईयर ऑल्सो. कितना एक्सपेक्टेड सेल्स वॉल्यूम होना चाहिए फॉर द सेकेंड हाफ ऑफ द ईयर, अज्यूमिंग दैट द पीवी रेशियो and fixed expenses remain constant in the second half of the year also, right? So let's solve this questions. Let's solve this question. Second half of the year, as we need to calculate sales volume. So we need to go through the formula of the formula of profit volume ratio. Profit volume ratio. So what is the formula of profit volume ratio? As you know that PV ratio formula is what? Fixed cost plus profit divided by sales, right? ये है फॉर्मूला, फिक्स कॉस्ट प्लस प्रॉफिट डिवाइडेड बाय सेल्स, राइट? तो और यू कैन से पीवी रेशियो कितना था? 0.50% मतलब 0.5 is equal to fixed cost also remaining constant in questions, given that fixed expenses and PV ratio remains constant. So fixed expenses here will be 45,000, right? प्रॉफिट कितना था? प्रॉफिट नहीं था, सेकेंड हाफ ऑफ द ईयर में लॉस हुआ था 10,000. ड्यूरिंग द सेकेंड हाफ ऑफ द ईयर द कंपनी हैज प्रोजेक्टेड a loss of rupees 10,000. So here it will be under माइनस. ये लॉस है इसलिए हम लोग उसको माइनस में रखते थे. डिवाइडेड बाई सेल्स कितना था? सेल्स तो नहीं है, सेल्स वी नीड टू कैलकुलेट सेल्स. ओके, सो 0.5 is equal to 45,000 plus minus 10,000 divided by sales. Now here 0.5 into sales is equal to 45,000 plus loss of 10,000, राइट? ये भी हम लोग कर सकते हैं. और 0.5 into sales is equal to 45,000 minus 10,000 is equal to 35,000, right? Or you can say sales is equal to 35,000 डिवाइडेड बाई 0.5. ये हो जाएगा आपका 35,000 डिवाइडेड बाई 0.5, 70,000. ये हो गया आपको 70,000, right? So we have nicely calculated the value of sales through PV ratio. Now move to break-even sales for the whole year 2015, right? Now we can easily calculate break-even sales. Break-even point for the whole year of 2015. Break-even point for the whole year of 2015, right? So as you know that the formula of break-even sales is fixed cost divided by PV ratio. Fixed cost divided by PV ratio, right? So here in questions given that expected sales volume for the second half of the year, assuming that the PV ratio and fixed expenses remain constant in the second half of the year. इसका मतलब ये हुआ फिक्स एक्सपेंसेस जो था वो है as fixed expenses and PV ratio remains same, so fixed expenses will be कितना होगा 45,000 first half plus 45,000 second half is equal to 90,000 हो गया फिक्स एक्सपेंसेस एंड पीवी रेशियो सेम 50%, right? Now break even point will be fixed cost divided by पीवी रेशियो। तो फिक्स कॉस्ट कितना है 90,000, पीवी रेशियो 50%, तो ये आ जाएगा आपका 90,000 divided by 50% is equal to 1,80,000 BEP answer, right? We have nicely calculated break even point for the whole year. Now comes to margin of safety for the whole year for 2015. Now margin of safety for the whole year for 2015. Margin of safety for the whole year for 2015, right? Now how to calculate margin of safety? As we know that the formula of margin of safety will be sales minus break even sales, right? So margin of safety for the whole year, the break even point of margin for the whole year कितना होगा, तो sales कितना होगा, as we know that सेल्स कितना है फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ द ईयर में, फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ द ईयर सेल्स था 1,50,000। सिमिलरली सेकेंड हाफ ऑफ द ईयर सेल्स था कितना 90,000, sorry second half of the year का सेल्स था 70,000, right? So second half of the year का सेल्स था 70,000। now so ये हो जाएगा टोटल सेल्स ऑफ द ईयर कितना होगा 1,50,000, 2,20,000 plus 70,000 is equal to 2,20,000, right? ये हो गया सेल्स। नाउ ब्रेक इवन सेल्स कितना होगा, ब्रेक इवन सेल्स as you know that break even sales, or you can say break even point for the second half for the whole year of 2015 is 1,80,000, right? So BEP is equal to 1,80,000. now we can easily calculate MOS for the whole year 2015 will be, ये हो गया 2,20,000 minus 1,80,000 is equal to 2,20,000 minus 1,80,000, 40,000, right? 40,000 will be our margin of safety for the whole year 2015. So we have easily calculated margin of safety for the whole year 2015, then break even point for the whole year of 2015, and sales, expected sales volume for the second half of the year, right? So very easy questions, very tricky also. You just need to read the questions repeatedly to understand the questions very well, then only you can easily calculate these questions in examinations. So this is it, all about illustration number 7. In the next video we will discuss about illustration number 8. So thank you so much for your time, thank you so much for your support, and happy studying.